Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are looking at some absolutely gorgeous paper which is called the Gilded Autumn Speciality Designer Series paper. Now, Designer Series paper is really just patterned paper, but on one side you have really beautiful gold, which I hope's not shining too much in the camera. So you've got these lovely pumpkins, you've got autumnal sprigs and corn and things. You've got more lovely patterns. You've got oak leaves and things that match with the punches. You've got this lovely blue, and on the other side you've got some plains, and these are quite masculine. So you've got sort of, you know, dog tooth checks, you've got more acorns and things. A beautiful pack of paper. Really enjoying using it, and I've used it quite a bit. But today I thought it's actually come out of a bit of a mistake, and as you know, I hate wasting things. So I have already cut out, this is for another project, so I'd cut out 3 squares. I wanted some with the brushed metallics, and then I wanted black, and then I wanted this little pumpkin piece inside. And when I cut it out actually just a little bit wrong. So I ended up having to slice some pieces off it. This is going to be for another one, but what I had left over was some little strips. So I had a 1/2 inch piece off of this one, and that was where I was cutting it down off a bigger piece. And then off my strips, because I had measured it a little bit too big, I had a couple of strips of 1/4 inch in the gold metallic and in the black. And I thought, I don't want to waste that. I really don't want to waste it. So I thought I would show you a way of using up tiny little scraps, which really, really works. So you need a base. Really doesn't matter what size, because we're going to trim it down. And I'm going to put this in with wet glue. And I'm going to start it with the gold metallic. So we're just going to a little glue going. We're going to put the piece down, and we're just going to stick it to this base. Now, it doesn't matter what colour you do it in or how you do it, it really doesn't matter. But if you can get the first piece right the way up to the top, that will help when we begin. So we've got the gold, which is 1/4 inch. We've got the patterned piece, and again, these are bits that you would normally just toss in the bin because they're quite small, and you think, oh, don't know whether I can use anything with that. But I thought, you know what, I really like those colours. I think they will go really well together. So why don't we make a card just using up these little scraps? So that's 1, 2, and then we'll have the black on the other end. So I put a little bit of glue in on here, and we'll put the black in on the end. So you're butting it up as tightly as you can and trying to get the top edge straight. So this piece, we don't have to really do anything very much with it. Okay, now we're going to get our trimmer out. So put the trimmer in on here. Hopefully you can see it. And we are going to measure at 1 inch. So let's take it up to 1 inch. And then cut it down. Now don't worry about the sides, because we'll trim that afterwards. And then we'll do another one. And we should get 3 out of it. So that's the 3rd one. Okay, so we now have 3 pieces. which we know measure an inch in one direction, and we know that if we just trim off these pieces here, 1/2 inch and 2/4 inches make an inch. So I'm doing these with scissors. If you've got a really good the little guillotine or something like that for trimming, you can use your trimmer, but I find for tiny weeny pieces like that it's actually easier to use your scissors, because then you're cutting it through and you know that you're cutting it fairly straight. I'm hoping I've got these pieces relatively straight. The sides definitely are. I'm not sure about the top and the bottom, but it should work okay. Okay, so you've then got 3 really rather nice patterned squares, which are inch by inch, so the little inchies. What I did as well was I found that I had some little tiny pieces over again, and there was enough for me to cut out a couple of the little images. So this one, I've got a tiny one here, and all I'm going to do, it's a very simple image to just fussy cut around, because it's fairly sort of straightforward edges. Need to do it fairly tight, but you want to have the gold showing. So just sort of turn your paper as you go. But again, it means that those tiny little scrappy pieces at the end, where you might have one little sort of flowery pumpkin on there, you can, this has got a little squiggly bit on it, so I'm going to keep that bit. And then just take this bit in on here. Should be able to just take it round, trim it round, and then just take it round on there. So you've then got some little pumpkins that we can use. Now, the idea of this card is going to be, it's going to be a bit sort of more of a masculine card. So with that in mind, I have taken a blank in black, which for me measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. My mat is 3 1/2 by 5 1/4, and then we can just literally just glue this on here. So again with the wet glue, and you could fill the whole card with these and just put a sentiment in, but I just wanted to show you that if you only had a couple of bits of scrap, you can actually turn it into a card relatively easily. So we're just going to put this on here, and that will give us our mat and our base like that. And then I have done a few of them already. So those are my little sort of cutouts that I've cut out, which we'll see how many we want to use. And then we can put one at the top. We're going to have one in the middle. So we can rotate this round. So we could have the black at the top or at the bottom. Let me have a look and see. We want the gold in on that side. Shall we have that? We'll have the gold at the top and the black at the bottom, I think, because then that makes the border quite pretty. So we're going to have 3 at the top, and then we're going to take 3 down in on the bottom. So we'll do exactly the same, gold at the edge, and then we'll have the gold coming in on the center. Sorry, the black in on the center, and we'll have gold in on there. So you've got 3 sort of diagonally pieces like that, which I think will work quite well. So we can put these down with dimensionals, or we can glue them down. I think I'm going to just glue them down. So let's just take the glue, and I always start with, so we're going to have the gold at the outside with one corner, because then you can line up the distance that you want between them and make sure that you've got the distance top to bottom straight to start off with. So that's going to be, wait, sliding it everywhere. Okay, so that's going to be our first one. Then I'm going to put the other piece the other side. Take that little bit of dry glue off. Don't really want that in on there. So this one again, we're going to have the gold on that side. So again, I just want to make sure that that's level with there. Like that, and then this piece can go in on the center. You could put it on with dimensionals if you want to, but I do like dimensionals, but I don't like them all the time. I must admit, I quite like to have things that they're not too overly proud. So we can then line this one up so we've got the equal distance between that on the gap on this one, which is perfect. Then we just need to do the bottom one, so we'll do them in exactly the same sort of patterning. But I really like this paper with the black and the brushed metallic, because it really is quite sort of pretty and geometric, but quite masculine as well. So let's put this one down at the bottom, and again lining it so that you've got your pattern the same top and bottom. So we'll put that one in on there. Make sure I've got it straight. Sometimes it's a bit difficult with my lights. I'm not sure whether that one is actually very straight, but I think it'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. I think I cut that on a little bit of an angle, but so that one's going to go in there like that, and then we'll have this one in on the center. So as I say, you've got a nice geometric pattern going on, and you've literally just used up tiny little pieces of scrap that you had over. So line that one up in between in the middle, so we can then make sure that that one is straight on there. And now we've got our nice little panels in on there. Now what I've done is I have taken the My Heart is Grateful for You from the Beautiful Autumn, which is this one here, and I've die cut it out using the poppies. So any die cut that you've got would actually work on there, and then we can put that in on the center. And again, I'm going to do that with, I'm just going to do it with glue. I'm not going to use dimensionals on this, and I'm not sponging around the edges, doing anything like that, because I think the pattern on this just gives that little bit of scallop and makes it look really rather pretty. So we're going to put this in on the center, and again we want to try and get it relatively straight. I need to pick it up because my lights, that's fine, my lights make it very bright for me sometimes, so I can't always see what I'm doing. Then we've got these little cutouts. Now this is where we can put the dimensionals on. We can have one up on the top here, and we can have one down on the bottom, and maybe we should do it as a 3. So let's have 2 little ones at the bottom, one in on the other. I think that that will work perfectly, and those I am going to put up with dimensionals, because then that gives us just that little bit of height, but where we want it. So I'm just going to put a couple of little dimensionals in on here. I'm using the minis because they're nice to use. And then we can put this one in on the top. Just like that. And then we can have, no, I was going to make it a happy birthday. So My Heart is Grateful for You. And we can have the happy birthday in down on here. And that I would put in with dimensionals, I think. So I don't know whether I'm going to have it. Yeah, I think sort of like that will work. So let's put dimensional on these two. And a dimensional in on here. Now, I know in the States in America, they have Thanksgiving. In the UK, we don't have Thanksgiving, but particularly for various different masculine cards, quite often, some of the menfolk we're quite grateful for because of all the things they do and help us out with and all of those things. So I thought that it would work quite well as a birthday. So you could have my heart is grateful for you and make it a happy birthday. And then we can put these two little ones down on here. So again, just at a slight angle. And then I'm going to tuck the little one in just in behind, I think, so that we've got that one just in like that. And I think that that makes, let's put a base on it. Whoops. Let's put the base in. Oh, I haven't stuck that piece down, but I think I'll have it as a birthday. I don't know. I might just have it as it is, but if I had it as a birthday, I'd just put that piece there. But you can see all I've used is 3 tiny little pieces of scrap to make the pattern in. And if you wanted to, as I said, you could do the pattern right the way down, not put the piece in the centre. But I think it makes a rather pretty masculine card. And it was an idea because I'm doing something with these, which I'll be showing you later on. And I just had those scrappy bits over. So wasting nothing, as always. Thank you so much for watching me. All the details of all the products are always down below in the description box. So do have a look if you want to get anything. And stay safe, stay well, and be kind. Bye-bye.